Hi, I'm Reinaldo, and this is Ray Purpose Made, where I merge art and furniture to create your one of a kind custom home essential. Please like and subscribe to get my latest videos. This is the finished piece that I've made for a friend, a classmate from college, Betha. It is a stovetop cover, and when I was first asked to make a stovetop cover, I didn't know what it was, so I googled it, and basically it's just what it sounds like. It's something to cover your stove when the stove is not in use. This is not intended to be on a hot stove whatsoever. I can make something like that, but this is what Betha wanted. Betha wanted a companion piece to the serving tray that I made with my friend Danny, DMC Original Art on Instagram. It's epoxy and acrylic art, the tray that we made. And so, going along with the same theme, another blue kitchen art accessory. And that is what this is, a stovetop cover. For the serving tray that Danny and I made, Danny is the epoxy girl, and I am the carver who carves out the serving tray. But for this, I did the entire thing myself. So I definitely leaned on Danny for her expertise when it comes to making the acrylic and epoxy art. So now to this piece. The basic construction of a stovetop cover is a square piece of wood the same size as your stovetop and handles so that you can lift up the cover when you want to use the stove. So based on that simple construction, I knew that it was obviously going to be a square. All stoves or most stoves are square. It's going to be a square, and it's going to be blues, not just one blue, but a bunch of blues. So that was my jumping off point. So I know that the size of the stove top is 22 inches by 30 inches. So I cut out that piece. It's a very thick piece of wood too. It's 3/4 inches because I wanted to make sure that there was no drooping or anything, and something that would not require additional pieces of wood like a border piece along the edges to prop up and strengthen a 1/2 inch piece of wood. Instead, I just got the 3/4 inch piece of wood, which is very strong. And this 3/4 inch piece of wood is repurposed, recycled, repurposed, because a tenant in the studio I'm in moved out and left a bunch of wood. I think were stages or I don't know, some kind of like giant 4 foot by 8 foot prop of wood, and I just dismantled the whole thing, cut it up to size, and got this piece of wood out of it. And a couple other things. Yeah, so matching with the serving tray that Danny and I made, the rim is black. So the first thing I did was just paint the whole thing black, so that the under this epoxy is all black, the rim is black, and it's a great way to make sure that if you do make mistakes or if the epoxy does run over in the drying process, you can just paint another coat of black and it'll still keep with the look. So, um, the handles. This is the very last thing I did because I'm literally drilling into epoxy and I get kind of nervous because epoxy once it dries is basically like hard plastic, and I had concerns that I may crack or have a shatter, not like a real big spray of a shatter, but like in the little zone where I drill, it could be a shatter. So I pre-drill first, like pre-drill a little hole on both of these spots, all 4 spots, and then to make sure that I don't make the crack, and then I actually put the screw in. So that's, and obviously you're gonna do black handles to match the black rim. The one thing that I try to match with the serving trays that I made with DMC Original Art is that when the serving trays are not in use, they have handles like this. So when a serving tray is not in use, it can be hung on the wall, and therefore, like that cute blue in this case, the nice blue tray that Betha has can be wall art when she's not using it. And I try my best to think of a great way to do the same thing for this piece because this is an even bigger piece, and being that it's square, it can actually look like it was intended to be wall art. The only problem is that the easiest and best way to do that is to put the handles right on the rim. But I had extreme concern with that because the wood itself was heavy, and then you add like about an eighth or 3/16 of an inch of plastic, it makes it even heavier. So if you will be hanging something from the side, there's a chance that the weight of the actual object could pull out the screws and therefore just ruin the whole experience. So that was like a little bit of a bummer. I'm definitely going to try to solve that problem for a future stovetop tray. But in the meantime, the idea for this tray is that these hooks would hang on the wall like that, meaning that this part would be on the wall. So then I was like, so now what's the backside that's going to be on the wall? And you're going to see that when you're cooking. What am I going to do with that? So being that the rim was already going to be black and I actually forgot to paint the underside black, I decided to do like a hard edge kind of style. It's totally different than what's happening on this side, so it's kind of a surprise. So let me show you that right now. So this here is a hard edge design that I did was just drawing some lines on the wood and then taking tape and creating borders and edges and then just painting the whole thing black and then removing the tape. This part is pretty much a surprise kind of piece because it's extra. This side is not intended to be seen when not cooking because this will be on the actual stovetop and you'll be seeing the blue. But I did this as a little bit of an extra thing to do. Like I said before, I forgot to paint the underside black, so I knew it needed to be painted anyway. And rather than just wholly paint this thing black, and then when it's hanging on the wall when you're cooking, you just have this giant black surface on your wall, I thought, let me try it to make some kind of art with it. And I did the hard edge pattern, and the original lines are very symmetrical. I think if you look at this here, you can see that it's very balanced, where like you have something here, something here, something here, something there, but they aren't the same. And I did that so that it wasn't be like this straight mirror image of something. I kind of see a butterfly or a moth or some kind of insect. You see what you see. It's like a Rorschach kind of thing. I just wanted something that was simple but noticeable at the same time. And this here is my Woodburn brand, but their last name is with an R also. So I thought it'd be cool that it's theirs too. That's almost it. But the one thing I forgot to mention is that I added art glass to two corners of the space, predominantly because I just wasn't satisfied enough with this side and how much white it was. It looked like it was drowning on or too bland, even though there are some like little blue strands and blue streaks on this side. So what I did was I took two like globs of art glass and spray painted one side white and spray painted one side blue. Now this blue side over here, like the actual blue epoxy, I actually do like it, but I wanted to maintain balance and not just have glass on one side. So the blue, I'm a lot more comfortable with this side now because I have the spray painted glass. And then this side, the white is a little bit more distinct than I want it to be, but I'm not too mad with it because I think the balance that it created is overall cool and good. Um, that's it. So this is Bether's stovetop tray. I really love it. At one point, I wanted to keep it, but this is it. This is her stovetop tray. It's being shipped out today, and I hope she enjoys it. I hope the family enjoys it. Thank you. If I were to remake a stovetop cover like the one I just did for Betha, there are a lot of options and places where I can expand on the design and the basic technology of the actual stovetop cover. One of the things I was thinking about is this. Uh, this kind of construction where the piece is a little bit over the actual surface, the stove top cover is actually higher than the stove, and these two pieces here raise it up. So technically, right when the stove is still hot, you just finished cooking, you can put that thing right on it because it's not actually touching the flames. So that's one option I would do. And also one more thing about this. If I were to do a construction like this, then I could definitely put the handle here and then it could hang really nicely. So that's one option that I was thinking about how I can expand. where I put the handles, how the piece hangs, whether or not the piece is directly on to the stove top, because that really depends if you have an electric stove or a traditional gas stove, how you want to lay out the actual cover. I'm also been thinking about the fact that these stovetop covers are the exact same construction of a bathtub tray, except that the bathtub tray would definitely need to be waterproofed on both sides. But other than that, they could be the exact same thing. So I'm kind of exploring, kind of in two steps simultaneously, the bathtub tray and the stovetop cover. How can I expand on both of those ideas? Always keep it art, always keep it functional, and that's about it. If you like what you've seen, you can have your very own Ray Purpose made piece. You can find me on Instagram, Etsy, Facebook, and Gmail under Ray Purpose. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you again, and please rate, share, subscribe on your way out. There's no such thing as time, bro. The universe is mine, bro. We are all divine, and I think I saw my shine, bro. I just practice magic. Now I stay aware and I be cleaning up my habits. Have you ever heard of chakras? I might just sit with herbs instead of using doctors. Man, that's great, I'm happy that you found your path. Just remember to balance out with science and math. You still do need logic, don't get out of pocket. Ground yourself quick like Diglett from Team Rocket. I'm like, bitch, I be the whiz, move it with my mind. Open your third eye, I see my divine, yeah. I'm gonna do my magic, karma come 3 times. Stars realign, chakras move aside, yeah. Bitch, I be the whiz, move it with my mind. Open your third eye, I see my divine, yeah. I'm gonna do my magic, karma come 3 times. Stars realign, chakras move aside, yeah. Bitch, I be the whiz. See, the funny thing is y'all could all do